already. How is it feel like riding a traditional two-stroke dirt bike, in my case, after riding exclusively for 2 months straight with a Stark VARG? I saw some people said this bike become a dinosaur after riding the Stark VARG for quite some time. It just feels so outdated. We are gonna find out. Hopefully the weather letting me to do that. Well, I'm sorry to disrupt the flow, but apparently my footage it's not good. The camera angle, it wasn't the right one, so I have to go out and make another video just to have the camera angle right. So what I'm planning to do is to put the two footage together. I cannot make that video again. This was a first-hand experience and it came out so good. I want you guys to hear it. I tried to do this a few weeks ago, a week ago, maybe more, but the starter gave up on this bike, so I couldn't get it started, and obviously I failed with my mission. So this is the second attempt try to do that. And first of all, the beginning experience is kind of bad because you're starting with the warm-up, warming up the bike. On the Stark VARG you do not have to do any of that. Then as you're warming up you realize there is a noise attached to that warm-up, which could be good or could be bad. If you a hardcore two-stroke guy, then you're gonna say that the noise of the two-stroke is one of the best sound you ever experienced. If you riding a four-stroke, then you're just dealing with it, I guess. But riding the Stark VARG, you do not have to deal with none of that. There is no noise. Oh my god, it's so weird, so weird. I normally jump that with the Stark every time when I'm out here. I do a few laps, practice, and it just felt so weird. Let me just stop and share with you my initial impression, which is a few minutes in. This bike is quite a good runner. It has the two-stroke performance ERM on it, which makes it quite powerful, and it runs very well. And still not even near as good as the Stark, because the power is instant, the torque is instant on the Stark. Over here, well, you know, it's not so much. There is not much at the bottom, and then you're gonna have a lot of torque. Actually, I tried to wheel it out here with this bike and I almost overcooked it because the power kicked in and I lifted up the front too much. So to me, the noise, it doesn't really bother me because it's a two-stroke and I kind of like it when it revs. But let's just call this part even. You know, it really comes down to the preference. It's not really make one bike better than the other just because it has a noise. I will say if there is no noise, it's kind of falling into the luxury category, like Rolls-Royce. Those cars are really quiet and they try to keep it quiet because that raises the luxury factor, so your brain attached to that, you know, if it's something quiet, it's a luxury kind of thing. I don't necessarily think that's the true in this case. Second of all, the suspension. I never liked the rear VP suspension too much, but I can deal with it. On the other hand, the factory KYB suspension on the Stark is the best suspension I ever experienced on the stock setup. That's what I'm talking about. I'm sorry, I just couldn't help it. Anyway, so the suspension is undoubtedly better on the Stark. No questions about that. I do not feel too weird on this bike like others saying it. For me, it's like home, you know. This is what I grew up riding, but to me the two-stroke is home. So on that department there is no change for me. Where it does change is when let me clean the lens for you, make sure you have the best experiences possible. When it does change, this bike has 68 hours, a lot of problem with it since the beginning. I have to do a ton of work on it. The engine didn't run the way I liked it. The piston went out around 25-30 hours. The cylinder house was overheated. Right now the clutch basket is kind of out, very noisy. I kind of hate it. There is a lot of service involved in the traditional bikes. On the Stark, nothing. You don't have to deal with any of that. And I'm not saying this is a good thing or a bad thing, but I will say if your time is important for you, then why you waste it on servicing something what you're not doing it because you're enjoying it, you're doing it because you have to. So over there for the service the credit falls into the Stark and no questions. The other thing what I like about this bike, besides the revving engine, is the clutch. If you are a beginner rider or intermediate rider, the clutch not really a factor for your ride. Oh, come on, bring it on, I can take it. It's not really a factor for you, but when you do a little more advanced riding, the clutch become a must-have, because you cannot initiate certain type of movement properly without having the clutch. And I experienced that a lot on the Stark. I can be just as fast on this bike as I am with the Stark. All I need to do is just not to let it fall to a low RPM too much. Ooh! That was kinda slippery. The Stark has a way better tire than this one on the rear. So I feel like the differences between the two bikes when you riding one and then hop on the other one, it's not that major. I think those people are exaggerating, or they haven't rode a carbureted or a traditional two-stroke enough to get used to this experience. But these bikes give, and that's why they say, you know, the Stark is so much better. I would not say it's better, I would say different. And flat out! And we can just leave it like that, because this is still quite a good fun bike. what I'm about to do, I was scared to do it for a long time, a very long time. What I did, I always just come over here. This was my starting. Come over here and stare at that freaking log for a long time. Then I put the front over it, and I try to cross it to get myself used to it. But I never thought I'd be able to do that, what I just did. And it's just so easy. On the Stark, that's when it's kind of fall, because you gotta go fast to conquer that. Over here, you just gotta clutch it, because you can. On the Stark VARG, apparently you cannot. So I don't know if I can have one bike. That would be a good question. If I can have one bike, I'm probably gonna take the YZ250FX. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Woo! It's actually totally the opposite. If you haven't rode this bike for 2 months after the Stark VARG, then you're getting on it. It's better to ride it than the Stark VARG, because that freaking sound of the two-stroke, it just gives you such a joy. Oh my god! Last time I felt like that, I was on a 250 YZ. That's just freaking amazing. So, conclusion, why wouldn't we have one? I think, oh, one more thing, I gotta say that, I'm sorry, I'm sure you had that much time to listen to it. When you're taking the two-stroke out of the garage, it feels super light. When you're taking the Stark VARG out, it feels freaking heavy. When you're riding the two-stroke, it feels freaking heavy. And when you're riding the Stark VARG, it feels freaking light. And that's the truth. The rotating mass, even if it's two-stroke, it's still significantly more than the Stark VARG has, because that one has literally nothing. So the point we're giving there, I gotta practice the balance while we are talking. So conclusion, if I can have one bike, I probably still gonna take this one.